Hit me up on Facebook. Let's look at America. We brought blacks into this country as slaves. We never intended them to be anything other than a slave. But they began to grow in number and in power, and eventually they fought their way to some freedom. So we became even more cruel, and to keep our black Americans down, we lynched. But yet they rose. So then we used the welfare system, the criminal justice system, to keep them down, to contain them, to destroy them. But yet they rose and they're rising. Then we built prisons and jails to hold them. Yet they rose. And so now we are doing exactly what the Pharaoh did at the end, sending out a decree: kill them. So until we admit that when we wrote this Constitution that all men are created equal, that we never intended to include our black brothers and sisters, our nation may end up facing exactly what the Egyptians faced when they refused to let God's people go. So I'm going to say this to my white fellow Americans, that the bloodshed that is on its way is not on the hands of our fellow black Americans, but is on our hands. We are the ones that are refusing to let God's people go. We are the ones that are refusing to acknowledge that we do not value our black brothers and sisters as equal individuals or equal Americans as us white men. And to my black brothers and sisters, the racial issues, as I've said, have been there from the very foundation. But why do we see it more? Because there's a shifting. See, us white men have been at the head since the foundation. But we've had a black president.
All right, let me get straight into this lesson. All right. And you saw that, that man going into, you devil's history, right? And that's the beloved brother, Hamawad Abad, all right? So I'm going to get straight into this lesson, but our people have been greatly deceived, right, of what the correct understanding of the Bible even is. They still under Stockholm Syndrome and plantation Christianity, right? When they don't have no understanding about what the Bible is really talking about. The Bible is one of the bloodiest books in history, right? It's locked in. And our people understanding has been dulled out because of the so-called white man, his version of Christianity, which still has a stronghold on most of our people. All right, and you devils gonna have to pay for everything that you've done, right? And you can't just so-called apologize. We won't, like, you devils, put these different enchantments out there, all right, with the 40 acres and the mule, which, you go into that history, it's all effed up, right? But it has to be a recompense, a reparation paid for what you devils have done. You never paid for that. And you stupid Edomites, see, you play stupid when it's convenient for you. But you so-called white people, you Edomites, you understand compensation for suffering very well when it comes to you, all right? When it comes to your situation, all right? When it comes to you being inconvenienced, you want to cry wolf, but you devils got a lot to pay for, and no one's going to get away with this, man. And our people don't have the correct understanding of the scriptures. They still under this hell of a drug called Christianity, all right? When they understanding of the scriptures is come one, come all. It's about love, love, love. You people don't have no understanding. right? You got to pay for that too. You got to pay for the lynchings. You got to pay for the alligator bait. You got to pay for indoctrinating our people under Christianity, indoctrinating them under the school system, indoctrinating them under this whole system in general, right? Putting them in a perpetual state of debt, all right? Proverbs 1 and 22, it said, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? So our people don't have no understanding what the scriptures really, what the Bible is really talking about. They still in la la land. They don't know the Bible is the bloodiest book in history. All right. It deals with payback. It deals with vengeance. It deals with wrath. Right. But try to tell that to our monkey minded people. All right. But how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? Being stupid, being in this dumbed down stupor. And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. So our people hate the correct knowledge of these scriptures because they still subscribe to Christianity or whatever bugged out doctrine that they into. All right. When we go into the truth of the Bible, they have a mental block up. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. So this is what these scriptures are really talking about. All right. Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity. All right, I'm going to go into this word captivity so I can make it crystal clear what this means. So who led us into captivity? The so-called white man. And these are the scriptures in the Bible that he don't want you to know. He wants you to be stupid and have no understanding on what this Bible really saying and keep you in a dumbed down stupor. All right. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So who led us into captivity? Ain't nowhere around this. Captivity goes back into slavery. He shall go into slavery, right? He that killeth with the sword. What was the so-called white man blessing? He will rule with the sword. I'm going to pull that scripture as well. Must be killed with the sword. So you reap what you sow. Pay back as a mother, right? Here's the patience and the faith of the saints, which are the Israelites. So you people you've been given this Bible presented all incorrectly, right? And that's why we bring these scriptures out. Most of our people never saw these scriptures before. They didn't even know these scriptures was in the Bible. All right, let's go to this word captivity. All right. It said, whoever leads into captivity shall go into captivity. So you devils going into slavery. All right. It says captivity, the condition of being in prison or confined. Let me show you something real quick. This word right here. It says bondage. It says slavery. Slavery. All right. It's heavily documented that the Native Americans, so-called, right, the so-called Mexicans, the so-called blacks, you got something called the transatlantic slave trade. It's heavily documented that we went into slavery and what was done, all the crimes and atrocities and the evils, the ill dealings, the theft, the robbery, the rape, this goes on and on. Right? So you devils are going to pay for this. Let me go back here real quick. It says, he that leadeth into captivity or slavery, right, shall go into captivity or slavery. All right. Let's go here. Isaiah 14 and 2. It says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were. It's heavy. And they shall rule over their oppressors. Going back into the nation of Israel, they go to show you that these frauds that's claiming to be us and that's in that land are they fake, right? The Lord said he will put us back in that land. I know Balfour Declaration, all right? And it's something your po chop and mayonnaise sandwich eating pastor, he won't go into these scriptures, all right? Because they so brainwashed and they wicked, man. It says, let me read this again. It says, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were. So who captives were we? The so-called white man. We still under this devil system, right? We under their financial system. We under their bill system, right? They mortgage, everything, right? Social Security, birth certificate. And they shall rule over their oppressors. So there's going to be this future prophecy that's going to be payback for you devils. Let's go here. This the book of Genesis 27 and 40. All right, let me, Salakia. Let me go to 38. The book of Genesis 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. So that's why you devils are in the prime real estate. You own all the resources. You fully in your rulership. Right? Anywhere you go in the earth, when it's the best lands and the richest countries, you got Edomites to have taken over, man. Right? And the door of heaven from earth, from above, Salakia. I want you to pay attention to this 40, where it's in red. And by thy sword should thou live. So these devils was going to live by their weaponry. Right? It's not just talking about a literal sword. And by thy sword should thou live, and shall serve thy brother. It shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, and thou shalt break his yoke from thy neck. Right? So these devils and they dominion, they in rulership right now. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Right? So, you know, let's go to this word sword. I'm Salakia. Let's go to this word sword, Salakia. That's where I want to go, in the blue letter. I'm going to show you something. So everywhere these devils went, they pulled up and destroyed, raped, robbed, and pillaged. It says, and by thy sword, let's go to this word sword. I'm going to show you something. All right, you see it when it says Strong's H2719, it says sword as weapon, as weapon. Number one right here. It says a sword as a weapon of war. All right. So you devils have always, Salakia. Let me go to this word weapon. You devils, that's how you get down. You the master of the weaponry. All right. And this sword will evolve into guns and missiles. All right. That's a part of this sword. And other means that you do as well, like bio warfare and so on and so forth. It says weapon. It says a thing designed or used for inflicting bodily harm or physical damage. You see the gun right here. And it's no coincidence why you devils are into the outdoorsmen, you know what I mean? Like hunting and deer hunting and wild game. And, you know, you love doing this for sport because this is in your nature to be this way. Your forefather was a cunning hunter. And that cunning hunter goes back into a literal hunter. And also a hunter in a metaphorical sense as well, right? Let me see something. It says weapon definition and instrument, Salakia, right here. It says as an object used in fighting or war, such as a gun or a bomb or something used against someone. The walls were decorated with swords. All right. So you devils have been able to advance this weapon, right? This sword into nuclear missiles, right? Let's go here. And you devils got a lot to pay for, man. Obadiah 1 and 10. It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. So that's why you call the truth hate speech. Anytime we bring any truth out about these scriptures, you call it hate speech. And you try to get our videos deleted and shadow ban, all kind of things you do. Because you don't want, you know, people talking about the truth. You call it hate speech. All right. And thou shall be cut off forever. So that's your destiny, man. Right. And you know, that's what you don't want to talk about, the lynchings, the alligator bait, all these things that you've done, and you don't want the truth of the Bible taught correctly because you're a devil. Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadah Shalom.